We're 5 Mythical Glory players with over 40,000 matches of experience, and today we will show you who are the 20 best heroes to rank up to Mythical Immortal in Season 29 in SoloQ. That title is way too long. All heroes we mentioned today excel especially in SoloQ and work well in all ranks, whether it's Mythical Glory or Epical Glory. We're not mentioning the top banned heroes though, simply because they can't be a reliable main when they get banned in every match. Still, it wouldn't hurt if you know how to play them if they're left open. Also, make sure to subscribe or you'll be cursed with a feeding Layla in every match. Now, let's start with the first hero on the list, Franco. Oh, nobody wants to play a tank in SoloQ. If you have a good aiming skill and good map awareness, yes, you do want to play a tank in SoloQ. In the current meta with many dash heroes like Lancelot, Joy, 𝐼𝐬𝐧, and Hayabusa, Franco can counter this hero with his powerful hook and suppression skill. Especially his ult is often a game changer, as you can lock down that one enemy that destroys your team. He can be built as a full tank, which is the recommended build, and as you should know, tanks should always build items according to the enemy. I gotta become soon. But if you want to have a little bit fun in Classic, you can also equip him with items like Blade of the Afterseas. One hook can start a team fight by taking one enemy from the team, which forces the enemy team to fight you in a 4v5 team fight, which is obviously a huge disadvantage for them. So what are you waiting for? Hook away and show off your map hacking skills. I mean hooking skills. Wait, that's not even better. Number 2, Lolita, Atlas, and Kufra. Wait, shouldn't this be number 2, 3, and 4? Yeah, but no, because they fit in the same role and there are so many good junglers, and it's my top 20 list. I can put as many heroes as I want, so bite me. Before someone gets angry why their favorite hero gets to share their screen time, let me ask you, what do these 3 heroes have in common? To answer these questions, these 3 tanks are the best, and I repeat, the best AoE setters in the game. They can stun multiple enemies with their CC effects, which makes them super easy for your allies to pick off. First, the bonk lady Lolita has many uses. Her second skill can block all ranged basic attack and projectiles, which are for example the bullets from Granger's first skill, which is a nightmare for all marksmen. She works incredibly well against Novaria, Cyclops, Kimmy, or regular marksmen who use ranged attacks, Xavier, and many more heroes. She also has the largest area of effect stun compared to all tanks, and when done correctly, she can stun all 5 enemies at the same time for a whopping 2 seconds. You can even hide your attack by executing it from a bush. Also, her first skill bonk is perfect to steal the kills from your allies. I mean, to stun a single enemy and dash out of difficult situations. I talk since year now about how great she is, but she's still underrated. So use that fact by making her your go-to tank. Unless you rather like to slap your bolts into someone's face.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Then Kufra is your guy. Kufra's crowd control skill has a large AoE, which allows him to slap multiple enemies against the wall or into a direction of your choice. He also counters heroes with dash skills, especially those dashing rats with his big ball that prevents them from dashing away. His second skill also offers him an additional 30 physical and magic defense, which can be used to sustain the incoming damage he receives. And his first skill is just an insanely long dash which lets you reach far away enemies. His skill set is great to delay the enemy's team from running away and to give his allies time to reach them and take them down. If you're not a big fan of balls though, maybe you like some tentacles. Remember how you forced yourself to put Purify instead of Flicker just before you saw an Atlas on the enemy team? That, my friend, is the power Atlas holds. Atlas' ultimate skill allows him to control all 5 enemies and throw it back. Ayo, what the? Not that cringe BS, this one. That's not all he has to offer though. His passive also allows him to freeze enemies for 0.5 seconds after a skill cast, which lets him use 2 crowd control effects by just using 1 skill. His second skill is perfect to engage against the enemies and to stun them, and his first skill is a very nice way to slow them down and to clear waves. Yes, you have a tank who can clear waves when your MM is busy beating up the red buff on level 1. Isn't that awesome? Talking about MMs. Number 3, Leslie. Ever since a revamp, Leslie became the tank killer of the game. The quote, one shot, one kill, is almost true when it comes to her. Her passive allows her to deal a basic attack with a 50% crit chance that deals true damage, which can counter any physical defense item. Her damage can hit you like a truck that starts every isekai anime. By the way, if you want a guide for your new favorite hero or your gameplay analyzed, make sure to become a member of the MLG family and join my YouTube membership program today. Especially when you have items like Berserker's Fury, Endless Battle and Blade of the Despair. As an item-dependent hero, after securing Berserker's Fury and Endless Battle, she can join the team fights and become a threat to the enemy's team. Yes, even in a match like this where I had to be the mid laner because our laner thought like, yay, second in him. Plus she's super hard to kill if you use her skills right. Her ultimate skill provides vision so you can't get ganked. With your first skill you enter the concealed mode where no basic attack can hit you. And your second skill is your get your dirty hands off me card. With a 1 to 2 shot build, she can wipe out an entire enemy team. And so can you. Number 4. Beatrix. Bea has never fallen off the meta due to her utility as a marksman. Her 4 guns, Nibiru, Renner, Bennett and Wesker, allows her to choose which gun needs to be used during the game. One-shot snipe, Renner. Wave clear and chase the enemy, Nibiru. Zoning and high burst, Bennett. One-shot close combat, Wesker. Puff puff. Bea has the chance to utilize her 4 guns, which at first can be very confusing, but when you know which one to use, you can dominate your lane and you can take down enemies during clashes. She's one of the few marksmen who can survive on their own during the laning phase, which is why she's one of the most picked heroes of the game since ages. Number 5. Moskov. Moskov is a hero that greatly benefits from the Trinity build. His first skill increases his attack speed by 1.15 times, which works well with his items. His second skill is a devastating 1.5 second stun if you hit an enemy against the wall or an enemy hero, which lets you spear your enemies to death as your basic attack hits enemies behind the primary target. His passive reduces the cooldown of your first 2 skills by 0.8 seconds every time his basic attack hits an enemy, which is why attack speed is so important for him. And his ultimate is perfect for KS, to kill enemies with a nice long shot trick. I should make the same jokes over and over again in the same video. By the way, in the description you will find a video link for each hero if you want to know more about them. Number 6. Brody. Brody's passive allows him to place an abyss mark on the enemy, which he can use to give his enemies a couple of extra slaps with his ultimate. And I just hit my mic. Perfect. His first skill is perfect to mark multiple enemies with multiple marks at once, and your second skill is perfect to reposition yourself if anyone gets close to you. As a marksman, you should still follow the social distancing rules. Also, since his skills benefit massively from physical attack, items like Blade of the Despair and Malefic Roar works perfectly with him. This also allows him to use a hybrid build, so a build with both attack and defensive items. This hero works well with those who don't want to play this typical basic attack marksman and rather choose a different gameplay style, like passive marking before killing off your enemies. We made a whole 25 minutes guide for Brody, which you should definitely check out. After I'm done with the list, of course. Number 7. Slimy Man Glue. Now with Faramis being hot in the ban list, it's time for Glue to shine. His skill set offers him 2 healings with his first and ultimate skill, and at the same time he can immobilize, slow down and take over enemies. Basically a reverse Angela. He can clear his waves fast, which can make him rotate faster to the other lanes who need his help. And since he can reset the cooldown of his first skill, he can endlessly poke his counterpart until they run away or, well, are dead. His former counter was Faramis, who can wipe him out immediately during the split skill, but now with his enemy out of the way, Glue can become the scariest XP lane monster again. Number 8. Our BBD Yuzong. What BBD stands for, you ask? Big Black Dragon, of course. With the newest emblem revamp, Festival of Blood with the Brave Smite alongside Oracle brought him back into the meta. His insane healing abilities combined with his ability to deal a huge amount of damage makes him such a big threat for his enemies. Especially his ultimate lets him shine though, as he is a hero who can easily target the backline of the enemy team. So while your epical glory allies are busy beating up the tank, you can rush through and target the right enemies. Do you hear that? That's the sound of a screaming marksman who sees the big black dragon. Even when the enemy is using anti-heal items, it's not enough to stop him anymore. Just make sure that you get your regem items first, as they will make you unstoppable. Number 9. Terizla. Terizla is still one of the most underrated heroes in the game. As long as there's no Valier around at least. Terizla can act both as the enemy's tank and fighter thanks to his passive. With every 2.5% max HP lost, he gains up to 30% damage reduction, which makes him extremely tanky while in a team fight. His ultimate can also trap multiple enemies in its large AoE, with which he can knock up enemies airborne and then pull them into his skill multiple times, which makes it hard for them to escape. Also make sure to use his second skill Bonk wisely. It has 3 charges which can deal heavy burst damage to the enemies he hits. You can choose to only buy Bloodlust Axe, which increases his spell vamp, and the rest can be defensive items, as his skills can deal enough damage with just 1 damage item, which is honestly insane. Number 10. Lapu Lapu. Another hero who benefits greatly from the revamped emblem system. Lapu Lapu is one of the greatest fighters of the game, with a passive that grants him a shield and a skill set which can stun enemies and deal heavy damage. He earned a spot as one of the hardest to kill fighters in the current meta. He can act as the team's second frontline hero that can take damage and initiate clashes, and he can take on multiple enemies at once and not die. This then gives your team the chance to follow up and finish them off one by one. He also don't need to build a full damage build to be effective, which, by the way, if you haven't noticed it yet, is a trait that goes for all great XP laners. They can deal damage and sustain damage. Next is 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐼𝐴's grandmommy. Number 11. Valentina. Valentina has been one of the most powerful and most versatile mages added to the game. Using Valentina usually requires some sort of mastery of all heroes, so you know which hero's ultimate is worth taking and can be added to her skill set. Valentina can take 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝑧 and 𝐸𝐻𝑧 zone skills to become a stronger mage in the game, but she can also take Tanky XP, 𝐼𝐴𝐧 and 𝐵ELLERIC's ultimate to create ganks, push away enemies, or act as the team's temporary tank during a team fight. Atla's ult, by the way, I should have mentioned that. She can also steal Novaria's and Leslie's ultimate for vision in bushes and reveal the enemy's position in a faraway location. The possibilities are endless with her as long as the correct ultimate skill is stolen. Now with a low ban rate, it's time to pick her and annoy your enemies when you steal their skills. This is illegal theft, by the way. Number 12. Cecilion. Cecilion has one of the highest burst damage as long as he's equipped with his core items and stacks his passive, which increases his max mana. Why you need to do that? Since his first skill damage increases with his max mana, it can deal an insane amount of damage in the late game. You can literally one-shot squishy enemies, and this is something you really need when you play with a bunch of headless chickens. This alone makes him a great pick in SoloQ to rank up. But another great thing about him is that his ultimate skill restores his lost HP for every hit of his energy balls, which gives him a lot of sustain during team fights. The additional movement speed from his ultimate also allows him to move around faster, and with his second and first skills BAM combo, you can burst down all your enemies one by one. Number 13. Pharsa. Her skill set gives her a high burst damage, a mobility skill when she flies away, and a zoning skill during her ultimate which can drive away all the enemies when taking objectives. She normally is head to head with Eve when it comes to the zoning department, but the added burst damage of her skills makes her better for SoloQ than our Pokey waifu. Her skill Wing by Wings allows her to escape a gang safely, and you can even fly outside of the map to make her untargetable for a short moment. This skill sets her apart from other mages who do not have any escape skill, and this can prevent you from being killed by one-shot hero. This skill also allows her to immediately rotate to either side of the map to provide assists, damage and zone if her side laners are losing during the laning phase. Also, did I mention the burst damage? Number 14. Harley. Harley is one of the strongest early game mages of the game. His skill combo allows him to take down any squishy enemy, while his second skill allows him to blink away after executing a successful combo. Now, what makes Harley a good mage in Season 29? The revamped emblems allows him to execute his one hero gang gameplay even better. Master Assassin gives him an additional 4% damage when targeting one enemy, and the additional adaptive damage from lethal ignition adds up to his total magic damage, which can take down any squishy target. His escape or engage second skill gives him the extra survivability he needs to reposition himself or to confuse the enemies. Make sure to place the head in bushes, gank one enemy and return back to your head before being bursted down by the enemy's team. Remember also that he cannot become as effective during the late game, so the earlier you finish the game, the better. Also, he's one of the only mages that can push turrets because of his increased attack speed. So he's not only a good jungler, but he can also become your go-to mid laner that can actually push. Tank or assassin? You choose. Number 15, Lancelot. Lancelot has never fallen out of the meta. It's one of the best assassins and junglers in the game. However, when the tank meta became common, Assassin Lancelot fell off the ranks and he became ineffective, which led us to the Tankcelot era. As long as he has his blue buff paired with War Axe, Guardian Helmet and Thunderbelt, Lancelot can still deal a good amount of damage while being able to sustain a lot of damage. Regardless of what build you choose, you have to determine what the enemy's team's lineup is composed of. Are they tanky and can sustain damage? Use Tankcelot. Are they all squishy AF and have low mobility? Use OG Lancelot. This versatility in build sets him apart from the common assassins who cannot change their build like Lancelot does. Seasoned Hunter allows him to take down his jungle monsters faster and is especially important in the Turtle and Lord dance to secure these objectives. By the way, general rule, if you're the jungler you have to take Seasoned Hunter no matter what. And Killing Spree, like his past emblem, restores his HP for every kill he does and adds sustain to either his assassin or Tankcelot builds. Number 16, Alpha. Remember when this boy was a FD hero? With a huge buff he received 2 patches ago, he became one of the best junglers in SoloQ. Every time he attacks an enemy, Beta will follow up with additional true damage, which is annoying AF. His ult is so easy to land and his skill cooldowns are super low, so you can just spam them around like there's no tomorrow. The item combination of War Axe, Bloodless Ass and Queen Wings gives him enough sustain through spell vamp and damage reduction, and on the other hand, emblems like Festival of Blood and Brave Smite increases his spell vamp even further and restores his HP when he's using his skills. Number 17, Lane. Now, he is a real SoloQ beast. Because of his ability to jump on walls, he rotates super fast, which makes him a perfect split pusher. His immunity ult enables him to steal any lord in any situation, and he can deal an insane amount of damage. Now you only need fast hands and nobody can stop you. Use the emblem Killing Spree and his core items Windtalker, Berserker's Fury and Blade of Despair, and your damage goes through the roof. Number 18, Frederen. Introduced initially as a fighter and tank meant for the XP lane, Frederen became one of the most picked junglers used in both SoloQ and pro matches. The rise of Frederen meant the fall of assassins, as he deals a good amount of damage while being almost unkillable. Enough said. Plus look at him, even I would call him daddy.
Daddy, chill.
Number 19, Hayabusa. During the last MSC 2013 or 2023, pro players have shown that real assassins can still dominate the game in the middle of a tank meter. Hayabusa have one of the most useful skill sets, starting with a passive that allows him to stack Shadow Mark on an enemy to increase the damage on the target. His second skill gives him up to 5 dashes, which allows him to reposition, poke, burst down and especially escape safely during a teamfight. With the new and improved emblem system, he benefits big time from the talents Master Assassin and Lethal Ignition. The additional damage from Master Assassin gives Hayabusa a higher chance to take down enemies in a 1v1 gank, while Lethal Ignition adds additional adaptive damage which works perfectly with his ultimate to secure his kills. He's also great at split pushing, which is a trait that is super useful in low ranks. Because as we all know, Mythical Glory only cares for kills and buffs, but not for objectives. Number 20, Fanny. Mythical Glory members can let me say anything they want, so Fanny is the best hero next to One. Another hero with great split push abilities, but also one that requires fast hands. Well, unless you know how to use her cables. I myself am a certified slow hand, and in the Link gameplay I showed how even I could become very good with Fanny, although I never really used her before. If you manage to snowball with her, you can one-shot any squishy before they even notice that you're there. And since it's super hard to catch you, you can just stack up your kills and destroy all turrets. Also, never forget that you can easily steal the red buff from the enemy after you got your blue buff. At least in low ranks where nobody knows about that. Number 21. Oh, wait, isn't it a top 20 list? Why there's a 21? Because it's my list, and our wildcard for today is the return of the cockroach, 𝐾𝐿. During season 28, he was temporarily banned due to technical glitches. Whatever. So for the most part of the season, 𝐾𝐿 had to hide under your kitchen table. But now he's back for glory and his comeback is insane. I think most people just forget how good he was before already, and now they realize his potential. With his revamped emblems, his core items, and his ultimate that can literally turn off the lights for the enemy in the game, he is one of the best kits in SoloQ to turn a losing fight into a winning fight. With him, it's not a big deal collecting 15 kills in a match while pushing all turrets away. And even conquering the Lord isn't really difficult for him. You just need to make sure that you hit your second skill and not let the enemies execute that sidestep of doom. So you can actually deal your potential damage to the enemy and not to the air around them. Now check out the linked videos in the description for your new favorite hero, or watch this video where we show you the most secret techniques every SoloQ player needs to know. Now a huge shout out to my MLG family members, especially our Mythical Glory members 𝐉𝐵𝐵, Enlightened Beast, and Fanny Bootcamp. Over there!